Well, good evening. I'm Clay Gordon. Hannah Deneen is on assignment. The number of Mainers who have overthrown COVID-19 continues to rise. The Maine CDC reports 861 Mainers have recovered and no new deaths as of this afternoon. We want to note that when the Maine CDC reports a death, they are reporting that someone has died who had been confirmed positive with COVID-19, not because of the death specifically. The cause of death is left for the medical examiner. Right now, there are 1,436 total cases of COVID-19 in the state. Out of 1,312 are confirmed cases and 124 are probable cases. Restaurants in 12 counties were given the green light by Governor Mills to start letting people in May 18th. But not all of them are ready, saying they still need to figure out how to keep people healthy. News Center Maine's Rosalind Flaherty has the latest.
Starting May 18th, restaurants in 12 counties will be allowed to ease restrictions.
We're trying to figure out what that looks like.
While it's good news for some, others aren't ready.
We want payless, contact pay systems and different ordering systems, and it's a lot.
Daphne Kamaski owns Salt Pine Social in Bath. She says the announcement doesn't give her enough time.
We're trying to have a process really in place before we open.
According to Governor Janet Mills's guidelines, safety precautions include physically distancing customers, reservations, and making sure employees follow enhanced hygiene.
We're going to comply with everything in there.
The owner of J.R. Maxwell's restaurant in Bath says he will be opening May 18th.
If we're doing 20 people and losing money, I think the priority for us is giving the community an outlet to come join us, because I feel like, sure, people want to go have a meal, but more than that, they want to reconnect with people in their community.
He says it feels good to know there is a date in place so he and his employees can get back to work. Meanwhile, Kamaski says she doesn't think the 18th will be any different than today.
Unless there's some sort of testing or, just kind of saying that you can open is fine and the social distancing is fine, but I don't think it's going to really put people's mind at ease.
Rosalind Flaherty, News Center, Maine.
Well, Governor Mills also announced fitness and exercise gyms can open tomorrow for outdoor classes of 10 or less and for one-on-one personal training inside. JP Susi, the owner of Team Susi, a fitness center in Lincoln, says he's already doing one-on-one sessions despite the governor's order. He says the shutdown has been difficult and says he had to make a living.
No income whatsoever. We lost 36 members due to people not wanting to pay memberships if they can't use the gym. We're behind on oil, rent, electric.
Now, Susi says he will also be bringing back fitness classes June 1st in defiance of the executive order, but is taking all precautions to keep the gym clean. The Calvary Chapel in Orrington continues its objection to the governor's stay healthy at home order, holding 2 in-person services this morning. The church filed a 10-count lawsuit last week against Governor Mills' plan. Then yesterday, a temporary restraining order to request in-person services was denied by a judge. News Center Maine's Sam Rogers tells us the church isn't done fighting.
This may become the land of the free and the home of the brave again.
9:30 Sunday morning. Calvary Chapel pastor Ken Graves addressing his followers during a drive-in service in Orrington. Patrons listening from their cars, volunteers directing traffic, and handing out the Eucharist and wine. The service complied with the governor's orders. The 8 and 11 a.m. services did not. Travis Carey is the assistant pastor.
We probably had over 120 people that gathered for the 8 a.m. service, which was a blessing to see.
Last week, Calvary Chapel filed a lawsuit against the governor, claiming its constitutional and statutory rights were being violated by the governor's order that people not gather in groups larger than 10.
We are protected by the Constitution to gather and under the First Amendment, and so people are making that stance, and we're happy to follow our pastor and doing the same.
More than 200 people followed their pastor and came to the 2 outdoor in-person services. In between, dozens of cars filled the lot for the drive-in mass. Pastor Graves.
It really speaks to the need that people have to get together in the name of the Lord.
Filing an appeal after the church was denied a temporary restraining order by a United States District Judge.
If the First Circuit rules different than the Sixth Circuit, then you got a split court and the opportunity to get the Supreme Court involved.
Graves adds the appeals court has recently sided with religious freedom, and he says his parishioners are standing up for freedom every Sunday.
And they're very conscious that their rights have been violated. that there's a freedom they're standing up for.
Standing up for freedom and denying state orders.
For as long as it takes to continue to meet every Lord's Day in person outside.
The separation of church and state becoming a legal battle of church versus state. In Orrington, Sam Rogers, News Center, Maine.
And speaking to the issue on Friday, Governor Mills defended her plans for phase 1 of the state's reopening, saying all religious services should be held virtually or in a drive-in setting.